Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Moto in Depth. Today we have the preseason episode 2 and just episode 2 in general. We're about to kick off the regular Supercross season, so I thought I'd get my preseason top 10s in there and talk about my championship and A1 predictions on today's episode. So I thought that you guys would enjoy a lot of that. So that's what I'm here to cover today, along with just a lot of other random stuff heading into the season, just stuff I want to cover before the season starts. I think that we should start off talking about my preseason top 10 and whatnot. Like, I really think that honestly, big picture, looking at the whole entire 250 class and the whole entire 450 class, we'll cover the 250 first. This is no East or West, even though we know most of the riders that are confirmed West. Actually, we know pretty much the whole entire lineup that is lining up for West. I'll make sure to do a top 10 on that when the season starts. But total 250 rankings, I don't think that this is a surprise at all that Jet Lawrence is number 1. And then the brothers, actually, Hunter Lawrence finds himself in the number 2 slot. I feel like that one could be a little bit debatable. Austin Faulkner, we know what he can do. We know what he's capable of. I put him at number 3. Shimoda at number 4 could be a wild card, could be number as down as like 8 maybe, and even as high as number 2. Shimoda is kind of a wild card at this point for Supercross. We know what he did this past motocross season was outstanding to towards the end there, and actually started to hang with the Lawrence brothers, as no one else seemed to be able to achieve that until Shimoda late season ended up getting to that point in that stage. I'm curious if he can pick that up here tonight as well. But I mean, we're going to go ahead and talk about number 5, Seth Hamaker. I feel like he can also be a little bit lower or higher even. Seth Hamaker started off his rookie campaign second in points. I even think he caught himself a win in like his first 5 races. Leaves him open with a lot of potential. We see he's a great starter. He can hopefully put together a few things as the season comes around, and I'll be very, very, very intrigued to see how he can handle the class that he's in. And luckily we will see him in I think we'll see him in the East class though, so we have kind of a chance at the championship at that point. And then at number 6, Nate Thrasher might be somewhat of a surprise, right? Nate Thrasher, not really a player that has been in play, really, a rider that has been significant in some races and been insignificant in some races. We see a lot of top 10 finishes, but we also see 1 or 2 wins a season that just come right out of the blue. You don't even understand how they happen, but Atlanta Motor Speedway seems to be his hotspot. But what I'm really excited to see Nate Thrasher do is finally put together some sort of campaign to really, really step up into a championship contender role. I think that he's going to be the guy on 250s for Star Racing, considering Justin Cooper will not be seeing the 250 class this season. So we'll be seeing Nate Thrasher instead. And then we go over to number 7, 8, 9, and 10. Michael Moseman, very fast, very solid guy, probably should be ranked a little bit higher, but just due to not knowing where he stands right now, he'll sit at number 7. I'm sure that'll go up once he gets his shot to show me what he can really do. And then looking at number 8, Cameron McAdoo, another guy that could potentially contend for a title. We will see him on the west side of things this season. It will be very interesting to see where he can kind of stack up compared to guys like Jet Lawrence and teammate Austin Faulkner, and even Pierce Brown, who has been absolutely cooking. Probably should be on this list. Apparently he's been showing some good flashes at the practice track. I didn't even include him in this top 10, which is kind of disrespectful of me. Probably should have done that. Not gonna lie, kind of forgot. Anywho, RJ Hampshire at number 9 is kind of speaks for itself. I think he's won 1 race in his whole entire career. Never really been one of those top guys. Always finds himself in a good start, has good speed, makes too many mistakes, and tries to push it a little too hard and whatnot. And then Jordan Smith at number 10 as well. I mean, if he can really put it together, we saw what he could do plenty years ago. I think that was like back in the 2018, where he was actually on TLD, so Troy Lee Designs KTM, with Red Bull and whatnot. That he was second in points. I even think he held the red plate at one point. all the way back in like 2017, 2018, maybe in 2019. Hard to tell. But honorable mentions go out to Jalek Swoll, Styles Robertson, who I'm sure will be in the top 10 by the end of the year. Pierce Brown, same thing. Max Volan. Reynolds won't race. Jet Reynolds will not race. Levi Kitchen looks like he'll race on the west side. And then we will also have Romana probably racing on the east side of things, if I had to guess. And then Ryder D will not be racing as well. I think that is kind of where all those guys stand. And moving on to my 450 top 10s. Very diverse, very different, very weird. Honestly, I shook these around a lot before the season started. And just to see everything right now where it is, I think that I've got it pretty dialed in right now. I think Eli Tomac at number 1 is best suited for that number 1 definite spot. We know that he can come in. We know that he can win. We know that he can contend. We know everything that he is capable of. Jason Anderson, another guy that showed a lot of flashes and good championship potential last season, and see what he can do in this season, as well. Hopefully it'll translate on over into this one. And then Chase Sexton at number 3 overall just looks like the next best guy under those two, especially for Supercross. And then I think that one's kind of just self-explanatory, really. You don't really have much on him. And then at number 4, Cooper Webb. If he can finally click with the bike that he's been wanting to ride for a long time now, it'll be very interesting to see how strong of a championship campaign he can put ahead. I originally had Adam Cianciarillo in this spot, but now you didn't even see him in the top 6. I don't know. We'll see what really shakes out during the season. Cooper Webb could be a guy that finishes top 10 at best, and you're excited to see him in the top 7 like he was last year, or he's a guy that can go out and win races and really consistent finishes on the podium can really put him in championship contention, which I think is 2 very possible things that can happen. And remember what happened last time he was doubted? He went out and won a championship. Now Cooper Webb, not quite. I don't really quite have the same confidence that he can do it over again, but we'll see what he thinks of it when the time comes. And then at number 5, Christian Craig, rookie in this 450 class. See him on a new bike. He's been absolutely going on the test track with that Husqvarna, as long as also at the Baker's factory. I've heard good things about him through the whoops, and especially with the whoops being downgraded this season. The AMA official whatever statement says that last year a lot of teams complained about how big and stuff the whoops were. And so they'll mow him down this year, meaning Christian Craig, Ken Rocks, and all of the guys that are good through the whoops will see a good spot here on the rankings. Honestly, it helps them out a lot. But Christian Craig, if he can really find a flow early in this championship, I really think that he can contend for it, or even a top 3 spot on it. And then at number 7, you guys see Adam Cianciarillo. Someone fun, someone I like, someone that is young, someone that can still go out and win races whenever he wants. We saw the ceiling for him, and then we also know the floor for him, which is leading laps with some shoulder bug that he has going around on his arm. So it's actually a very tough situation for Adam Cianciarillo. Like I said, I originally had him at number 4, dropped down 3 spots to number 7. Then Dylan Ferrandis probably shouldn't even be on this list, nor should Justin Cooper. And all things, I think Muskin really has a chance to beat these guys on these top 10 rankings, along with Plessinger. I think that all these guys can really show up, but this just shows how deep of a field we have. And yeah, I probably just shouldn't have Justin Cooper on here in general, but I wanted to find a way to involve him and tell you guys, he's racing 450 select rounds in the 450s. It should be interesting. Ken Roczen as well at number 10, very wild card. I can see Ken Roczen in the top, 7 to 12, and I'd be happy with that, right? Or we'd see him number 1 to 5 with a consistent finish at 3, and I wouldn't be surprised. So it really just comes down to what he does in the first 3 or so races is kind of what will put him where he'll stand probably for the rest of the season. In all things considered, I mean, we know that Kenny can kind of fall off towards the end of a season, but I just feel like something's a little bit different this year. Not only the color of his bike, but the difference in just about anything he's going to be doing on the track. I can assure you it will be different than we've ever seen Ken Roczen before. It should be very interesting. And then in the honorable mentions, guys I couldn't fit in the top 10 that I probably could have. Marvin Musquin, very fast, should have retired, but didn't because he's so fast. I'm excited to see him back. Hopefully he wins a race this season. That would be super cool to see. Justin Barcia, a guy, right? Justin Barcia is a guy that I don't like. All right, I'm not going to put him on the top 10. It's not like pity, oh, whatever. He's not getting my top 10 because I don't like him. No, it's statistically, I think these guys can put up better stats than Justin Barcia can in the long run. And then Plessinger, kind of a wild card as well. Could be a top 15 guy. Could be a top 5 guy at times. Maybe a consistent number 7 guy in the class. And then Savatgy, if he can find himself a good ride, then maybe he can find himself some momentum moving forward. Marchbanks, same deal. Just inked a new deal, actually, with Club MX to keep him within the next 2 years. Dean Wilson on the last year of his career, pretty much, will keep him occupied in this season. And on that Firepower Honda will be interesting to see after he switched rides, right? So should be interesting to see how some of these guys really stack up. And then, heading into, I'll tell you guys my championship predictions. How about that? We'll move on to championship predictions. For the 450s, I have Anderson. At number 3. And then I will have Tomac at number 2. All right, you guys staying with me here. And then I have actually Sexton winning the championship. Finally puts everything together. Finally puts himself a full campaign full of good finishes, no mistakes, keeps it fast, keeps it nice, and keeps it good, right? I think that is very nice to see. Very, very fun. I think that he has a good chance to really do his thing. And then in the 250 West, my championship predictions go like number 3, Cameron McAdoo. I think that one kind of speaks for itself. No one else that can really... I can see either Styles Robinson or Levi Kitchen, maybe even Max Volan, RJ Hampshire, Pierce Brown. All these guys are up in the air for this finish right here. And one guy I do want to note, by the way, Enzo Lopes looks very fast on the practice track. Although it is just the practice track, we will see come around this season. And he should be racing west, so we'll see him pretty early. But Faulkner at number 2 speaks for itself. Another guy that can maybe contend with Jet Lawrence in the long run, who I will have at the number 1 spot, winning the championship. I think that is everyone's lock. If you don't have that, you probably don't watch the sport. 250 SX West or East, actually. Now I have Hammaker at number 3, Shimoda at number 2, Hunter Lawrence at number 1, and depending on what we really see out of those guys in the first 2 rounds of like the East Championship, those things can change significantly. I can have Shimoda at 1. I can have different things happening all over the place. Should be interesting to see how those things shake out. We got a lot of things that need to kind of settle itself in the first 3 races of each West, East, and then just the 450. First 3 rounds in general should be interesting. Now I'll move on to my Anaheim 1 predictions. First, in the 450 class, I will have Jason Anderson taking A1 with Cooper Webb in 2nd and Eli Tomac in 3rd. I know it might sound crazy, but hear me out. It's a good lineup. Cooper Webb, he's good at Anaheim. All right, he's good. He shows early in the season that maybe if he gets a good start, he can contend with the guys. And then Eli Tomac kind of speaks for himself. 3rd, could end in 10th. Could be ended in 15th. You never know with Eli Tomac at A1. And then Jason Anderson, I think he wants to come out and make a statement. And I think the best way you can do that is by winning A1. And then moving down to the 250 class. A1 predictions, Jet Lawrence winning in that one. I'm pretty sure that one, it's no surprise to anyone. Pierce Brown at 2nd is a big surprise. I think that he can take the championship. I think that he can take momentum from the practice track and put it on film at A1 and maybe build some momentum towards that championship, starting off the season with a 2nd place finish with Austin Faulkner in 3rd. I think that is a very possible lineup in the 250. If anything, I might even move Austin Faulkner out of that 3rd spot if I were to move anyone. And I guess that's really it. Now we'll talk about the off-season moves and analyze how each move really has affected what effect the move has, really. And then I think that we can talk about Justin Cooper to a 450. It's just different in the fact that he's going to be racing select rounds is kind of whatever, right? Like, it's not that big of news, but to know that he's not going to be a contender in the 250 class is kind of a bummer. Don't get me wrong. And then Kenny to Suzuki. I think everyone has already covered this the best that they can. I don't think that you can really, tell where he's at right now. Looks incredible through the whoops. Absolutely incredible. Then Colt Nichols to HRC. I am curious to see how he will perform in the 450 class. First year in the class, will have a chance Supercross only deal on that HRC Honda. Should be interesting. Same with Christian Craig, working to a rookie deal in the 450 Supercross. Full-time 450 guy now, and he moves to a new bike, to Rockstar Husqvarna. Should be different, should be new, should be nice for him to get a fresh start. Full-time 450 guy and really ride on rails. I really think that he can be faster than most of the guys out there, and I really hope that he puts that potential to work. Same with Styles Robertson to Star. If he cleaned up his act through the whoops, and he's as good of a starter as he is on a Star Yamaha factory bike as he was on a Husqvarna, I think he has a great chance at winning a race at least this season. I think he has a great chance of finishing with some podiums. On the west side, obviously, that's going to be a little bit harder, but I can still see it happening for him. I mean, he's a very talented guy. I cannot wait to see what he does on his year, or I guess on this year, on Star. And then now, Tom Vial racing Supercross. Frenchman comes over from MXGP. If you guys don't know who Tom Vial is, and you guys probably just skip, 20 seconds past this video because it won't be, talked about all that much. But Tom Vial coming over to race from France, I guess, from the MXGP, really. And then just coming to race SX should be interesting. I can expect him to be a top 5 to 10 guy, not really anywhere above or below that. I think that right there in that range is probably where expectations should be. And then Seth Hamaker's talent and new deal. Seth Hamaker really has a chance to make an impact in the East Championship, where I'm assuming he's racing. It should be very, very nice to see him on his own island on the east side. I think that he can even have a chance at the championship, and so does Pro Circuit Kawasaki. He got a new deal that keeps until 2024. Same thing for Garrett Marchbanks. He goes back to Club MX for another 2 years as well. Should be interesting. Now, moving on to scouting the track maps and whatnot. The track maps, very, very, very interesting. Do not get me wrong. They are not like any we've ever seen before. And everything that you guys want to say through them. Like round 1, look at it. Look at this. We've not seen A1 like this. It should be a great layout, a great race. It's got space, it's got passing points, it's got just about everything. Should be fun to see how the riders can find their way and navigate around this one. Round 2, I'll kind of just skirt right past these ones. We go to round 3 even. Round 3 does look interesting. A lot of long whoop section. Or I got one long whoop section. And then number 4, round number 4, just take a moment to take this all in. It looks very confusing, but very fun. Don't get me wrong, that one should be a nice one to watch. I think that the riders will flow well around that one. Round number 5, we have that long sand section in the back. Got some over-unders. I see some very compact sections. Very nice. Round number 6. Long whoop section headed into like a triple. I think that would be a great passing point for a lot of guys. Something to look out for. And then you see those stand roller slash whoop slash rhythm section thing going on in that corner right there, or I guess in that little stretch. Should be fun to watch in that one as well. Round 7, we'll have this one in Arlington. It looks fine. It doesn't look anything special. It just looks like another Supercross. And then round number 9 doesn't look that crazy as well. Just kind of looks like same old Indy. And then Detroit looks a little like flat corners can play a role depending on who has the best corner speed. How we'll see Ford Field really rut. Actually, I think that's how it's really gonna work out, is how well these tracks rut with a lot of the flat corners. And then moving on to round number 11. Off of the start, you have a nice long start that'll push you all the way down into that first corner. So I'm guessing the Star Yamahas will have a good time with this one, with that nice sand section out of small rhythm section. Very nice. And then in round number 12, very interesting. Have that split section, very long whip section, and then a couple of major sections. It looks like major, but shorter, kind of less compact rhythm sections. So it should be fun to see how this one plays out. This one's going to be a lot of momentum carrying. I can already tell you that right now. We're going to see a lot of guys that are good at carrying their momentum do well at this track. Number 13, we have Atlanta Motor Speedway. This layout looks good. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look like anything new, like anything we haven't seen. It looks a little bit more compact than usual, actually. Caught a couple of sections right by each other, even striping down. It doesn't look too unfamiliar. I'm pretty sure the guys will like it. And then in round 14, nothing special, really. It's just another track. Round number 15. Interesting. Look at the back left corner. You see that roller, the sand slash dirt section back there, with a lot of the sections are full. And you've got that dragon's back that leads into the whoops. I like the way this track looks. I think that guys are going to have a good time with that one. I think that they will find good ways to execute all the lines. And then in round 16, this one is a little bit more interesting with the sections, right? Everything looks a little bit more compact, combined, put together. And I think that will really put up a technical race. And then in round number 17, the finale should be pretty wide open, honestly. I wish it was a little bit more, wide open, like I said. I really hope that they do incorporate, these corners and the scaling. Hopefully it's all right, because I want this place to be wide open. I want the fast guys. I want the good guys to have a good chance. So it is a nice addition, really. So I do like what they're doing there. It looks good. And then we'll hit on the Super Motocross Championship idea and the template for racing. We've got the normal 17 rounds, right, for Supercross. And then we've got an 11-round Motocross Championship now. And then we've got a Super Motocross Playoffs now. That last 3 rounds, you guys see the schedule on your screen right now. Take a look at it, man. This looks absolutely insane. I cannot wait to hit on these tracks when the time comes. I cannot wait to cover all of them on this show right where we stand. I've already been talking for 20 minutes. That's how long this preseason one is. Super Motocross Playoffs even. We have playoffs now. It's even crazier to talk about. And I guess we can go ahead and hit on, the scoring and the template through it. So we'll use the Super Motocross scoring guide. We have the point system for the Super Motocross Championship up on your screen right now. You guys can really see the point system for the Super Motocross World Championship will be unique to the playoff. Points will be reset for the final 3 races, meaning that championship points don't matter. It is just these 3 rounds that they're keeping points for. Erase everything that's already happened. The last 28 rounds, just forget about it. Supercross and Motocross, forget about it. We head into the Super Motocross Championship. Just the Supercross Moto Championship, whatever. Beginning with 26 points for the top seed, 23 for the second, 21 for the third. I think you guys get all that, and 19 for the fourth, followed by single point denominations through the 20th. So you'll get minus 1 point from 19 for fourth, and then all the way through 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, etc. All the way down to 20th will be 1 point apart. And then I think that's actually very nice. And then while playoff 2, the second playoff round will pay out for double points. So everyone will be granted double points to what it normally is, as you guys see on your screen right now. In round 1, you'll have first place getting 26. You'll have second place getting 23, third getting 21, fourth being 19. And then from 5th all the way down to 20th, get 18 to 1 point. So it's just 1 point below the other from 4th, or from 5th to all the way down to 20th. And then round 2, everything is doubled. Everything goes to 52, 46, 42, 38 points. And then there's 2 points apart from each other, all the way from the 4th, 5th to the 20th spot. And then everything times 3 from the first round. So it's 26 times 3, 23 times 3, 21 times 3, 19 times 3, adds all this together, and then it'll be 3 points apart from everyone. So you guys see on the right side, I wrote, then for 5th to 20th place finishers will be scored 1 point apart in every round of the playoffs. All points are multiplied. Multiplied each round, so 1 point apart becomes 2 points, 3 points apart, etc. You guys understand hopefully by now, and you guys can look at the examples and try to put it together in your guys' head if you can't wrap your head around that. So what we're actually going to be going over now is the 250 West Riders. We're going to be going over who's racing in it, and then we're going to be talking about some of these guys that are kind of wild cards and could be good, could be bad sort of guys. And then we'll be talking about one guy in specific. But let's start out with the 2023 250 SX West class. We'll have Jet Lawrence, Austin Faulkner, Cameron McAdoo, Pierce Brown, RJ Hampshire, Max Voland, Levi Kitchen, Styles Robertson, Enzo Lopes, Phil Nicoletti, and those are kind of some of the big guys. We know pretty much the whole entire lineup that we'll be racing for. I think guys like Derek Kelly, Joshua Varese. I'm not sure if he's going to be racing 250 SX West or East, but we've got a few other guys in there on the Suzuki Bar-X Suzuki team coming in. It's a refreshed team, actually. It looks very nice, and it looks like could be fun to watch. And then you got the Firepower guys, and you've also got Freezy and Oldenburg. I'm not sure if Oldenburg will be racing on which side he'll be racing on, and then you have Freezy on one side as well, staying with the 250, and along with Max Anstey moving back down to 250s as well. So it should be interesting on that as well. Talking about guys like Jalik Swoll, very slow through the whoops. Styles Robertson could be very good, could also be a top 10 guy just at best. Pierce Brown, another guy that can absolutely show up or show out. I think that's just that. Then Max Voland, very big wild card, maybe pulling momentum from the motocross season over into this one. If you guys don't know, he did very well last motocross season. Very, very, very above expectations over there. And then we'll talk about Levi Kitchen next. Should be very, very, very intriguing what he will be able to do on the Supercross track. Looks pretty good on the practice track. I'm not going to lie. He doesn't look great, but looks fine. Looks like he will be functional and up and ready to go. And then Nick Romano, I'm pretty sure will be racing the east side if he's racing at all. And then you'll have Di Francesco and Chance Hymas both racing Supercross Futures again, I think. And then if you guys don't know who Jet Reynolds is, actually ended up suffering a significant wrist injury at the 2022 Minneapolis Supercross press day before his pro debut, and has been sidelined ever since. We do not expect to see him behind a gate until the AMA Pro Motocross Championship in this summer. So should be interesting to see all that there, and I think that'll do it for me. I think that will sum up preseason episode number 2. I think all of you guys, if you guys have watched till now, I very much appreciate it. I very much do. Trust me, it is so awesome to see you guys stick with it, and I can't wait to keep coming out with these shows every single week for you guys. So that'll be it for me. Thank you guys for watching.